Nice shot. Good kill.
was brilliant shooting, lad. Nice shot, son. Son. Way to go, boys. Son. You got him. You're a champion, Sonny. Good one, son.
La.
That's a good kill. Good one, son. That's brilliant shooting, lad. Nice shot, son. Blinding shot, son.
Counter-terrorists win.
shot. Very good.
Ah, Mann. Ich bin so schlecht. Ja, und ich bin hier. Что сказали?
Very good shooting. You got him. Nice shot, my friend. Very nice.
Alter, der Typ ist eine Maschine.
Nice shot. You got him.
Пап, я уже локи сделал, я пришел где-то 14.
Very good. Very good shot. You have done well. Very nice. Nice shot. Very good shot. Nice shot, my friend. That was very nice. You got him. Good shot. Nice shot. Very good. Very nice.
Terrorists win.
I'm so.
I quit! I quit this bull. I hate you! I hate everyone who's ever known you! Get out of the way!
We lost one, we lost one, we lost one.
Okay, let's go. All clear. No! Please, no!
Quickly before this video starts, I'd like to address the comments I know I already get saying like, oh, you're not a pro player and stuff like that, just because I'm not from NA or EU and stuff like that. The word professional has become so oversaturated, it pretty much just means someone that plays under an organization in a league. I'm from OCE, so I know like people think that we don't have a pro league, but we do. I'm signed under the org Tainted Minds. Anyway, this kind of video isn't like my normal videos. This is sort of a different video that a lot of people requested, talking about what it's like being left-handed, what my binds are. I get a lot of comments about what my binds are because half my stuff's unbound. Like, in most games, being left-handed wouldn't be much different to others. It's just preference, just like everything else in sport and stuff. But even within Fortnite, if you know you're normal and you use I, J, K, L, it's just, you know, the same thing. It's just around the other way. But, you know, me being the weirdo I am, I've always used the numpad to play games. I don't really know where that came from, but I just always have. And I always get people saying, like, why don't you play with your right hand and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, if you were to learn with your left hand, imagine how hard it would be for you to learn that when you've put years and years of work into, you know, almost perfecting, like, you know, your movement with your right hand and then going to your left one. It just wouldn't, you know, you can't do it. I've tried multiple times to set up binds on my mouse and, you know, on my keyboard and stuff like that, and it just, it feels really, really awkward for me. I just prefer to use the scroll wheel, and I know that's, you know, not the most effective way, but when you think about it, if you're building smart, not fast, and it's not too bad. So as you can see on the screen, these are my binds. I will leave them up for a little bit. Now the reason my slash is to jump is because when I was like really young and I would play games, my numpad 0, it didn't work. So that would be the equivalent to spacebar, and it didn't work. So I didn't have it, obviously I couldn't have it bound if it didn't work, so I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just go with slash and about this than I am, because I'm fairly out of the loop. I've stayed fairly neutral, but you have the NHO, the New Hermit Order, and you also have La Revolution, which is run. Yeah, so this is it.
Might have to have you set up a meeting with you and
has now been removed. This place is looking wonderful once again, and we're actually going to have ourselves a proper entrance, because it's just been such a pain in the backside going through all of the redstone and everything like that. Just hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 18 and today we are starting things off in the freshly decorated Guardian storage room. So we've got all of the entrances and everything like that, and obviously our base is now looking considerably better as well. But in today's episode, we are going to be doing some serious work on the base. Okay, this episode is going to be the important one, because hopefully by the end of it, we will actually have ourselves like a completed base area. This is going to be like the main footprint of the base, and it's extremely exciting. And I did a bunch of thinking, I did a bunch of designing. You guys know that I built all of the templates as to what I wanted to do. I had like the big diamond going around the outside, which actually ended up causing us a pretty massive issue by breaking our automatic sand dropping thing. But I've decided we're kind of going to do this, but also kind of not going to do this. And it's thanks to a wonderful, wonderful human being who submitted an absolutely brilliant idea for what we're going to do in terms of base design. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, this was designed by a chap called Zach Sadillo. I'll put a link to his Twitter down in the description. I'll also put a link to the Planet Minecraft post so that you can download this thing for yourselves. But this is the design that we're going to be using. Now, I'm actually going to be changing it a little bit. Basically, he couldn't really decide whether he liked the dark prismarine or the light prismarine. I'm going to be going with light prismarine, but I think in the center, so around the sea lanterns, I'm actually going to have this stuff, which I think could be a really, really nice looking color combination. Like going all the way through the center like that, it will just be a nice little bit of detail. I think this thing is going to end up looking absolutely amazing, but there is one slight flaw. It uses 50 stacks of prismarine, it uses 8 stacks of sea lanterns, and it uses 15.6 stacks of quartz slabs. We don't have enough for the quartz, we don't have enough for the prismarine, so we're going to have to do quite a lot of resource gathering in today's episode, starting off with a 1-hour nether mining session. So in this little time-lapse chat at the start of this Hermitcraft episode, I want to talk to you about sticking with things, because sticking with things is something that I personally value a lot, because it's something that I occasionally struggle with. I am someone that really gets defeated really fast. I have an idea of what I want something to be like in my head, and I will then try and do that, and if it doesn't end up looking exactly as perfect as it did in my brain,
I can find myself getting really defeated, and instead of completing the project, I just end up giving up on it. Now, thankfully, I didn't do this with YouTube. When I first started on YouTube, I knew that my videos weren't particularly brilliant, just because, well, even though I put tons of time and effort into them, it was just something that I was new to, and I was watching back on my videos, and I was like, I mean, yeah, it's okay. I have, like, some foundation here, but there's definitely things that I could do better, and I'd watch other YouTubers and be like, oh yeah, they're doing that, maybe I could do that, and oh, they're doing this, maybe I could do that, and that's still something that's ongoing. I'm still trying my best to improve my videos, but the important lesson here is that I didn't get defeated when I watched back my early videos and compared them to other YouTubers. I just went, that's something that I could do better. That's what I'm going to do. And there we go. I've made some progress. And I think the clearest example of this is with the filming channel lately. Once again, some of the videos that I've been producing over the past 6 months, because I've been doing the filming channel for about 6 months now, and only recently has it got to a point where I'm actually happy with the videos that I've been producing. At the start of that 6 months, I would make videos and I would spend hours and hours and hours on them. We're talking like 20 hours on each video, and I would finish it and I'd be like, yeah, it's alright, like, it looks pretty good, I'm happy with it for my progress level and for how long I've been doing it. But when I watch other people's videos, I'm like, mine is terrible in comparison. So gradually I'd pick up techniques and I'd stick with it. I wouldn't get defeated, and I'd try my best to just carry on and improve with everything that I put out. And I just think that's just a really important thing to talk about at the start of today's Hermitcraft episode. If there's something that you're struggling with, just keep at it. Someday you'll get there. Redstone is definitely a prime example of that as well. Anyway, let's put back onto the Hermitcraft. Now that was a pretty massive success. We actually managed to get tons upon tons of nether quartz there. I wasn't expecting to get this much. I really wasn't. In the past, I've always done like strip mining technique, and this time I just went through a bunch of nether caves and I just found all of the quartz, and it seems to have worked, well, a ton better. We've got 18 stacks of nether quartz ore. So I think, well, we are going to need to use this in today's Hermitcraft episode. So I'm actually going to grab my Fortune 3 pickaxe. We're going to build a gigantic pillar and then knock it all down. And this is just a super fast time lapse of me taking out all of the nether quartz while placing in the nether quartz and then taking it all out with my Fortune 3 pickaxe. I don't know why I decided to time lapse this, but I personally think it looks hilarious. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now let's see if we can actually start work on the base. Now I have to say, I thought we were sorted in terms of quartz, but it turns out we actually cut it extremely fine. I've only got about 2 stacks of the quartz dust, whatever that stuff is called, left, and we have got about 17 stacks in total of slabs, which should hopefully be enough to do this entire thing, as long as I don't actually make any mistakes and have to break the slabs, because then of course we all know what's going to happen. They're all going to fall to the bottom of the ocean. So I think I'm going to start work on laying out the actual diamond template going all the way around, and then we'll see if we can start doing all the extra fancy bits. Now I have to say, I'd kind of forgotten from this template building experience that the process of placing in the slabs going all the way around is actually quite a lot more long-winded than you would first expect. And I can only imagine that it's going to get worse once we get all of the snaky, wibbly-wobbly, circly stuff going on. I mean, this is a fairly simple shape. We're just going in straight lines and it's taking me hours. Okay, hours was a bit of an exaggeration. It's taking me minutes. It's definitely taking me minutes. We're almost there. The final slabs are now going in place, and that should do it. Now, thankfully, due to the fact that we actually had the stone slab template going around the outside, it made my life quite a lot easier in terms of actually placing them in. So this time, I didn't make any mistakes, unlike what I did with this one, where I made about 4 or 5 and had to just destroy the entire thing a bunch of times. So this is what it looks like at this point in time. It's a slightly smaller inside diamond, and then the outside diamond is probably actually going to be around about there. I'm not 100% certain on this, but that could actually be the positioning of the outside diamond. Yep, the stone slabs on the outside, that is where this quartz is going to be going, which kind of makes my life more difficult but also easier. Obviously, I can't just remove the slabs and then replace the quartz slab, because then I'd have to do the same block thing where I place it on the side of the block and then, yeah, and just go along like that, which would actually be quite time consuming. So I think what I'm going to do is go underneath every single one of these slabs and place in one of the prismarine shard blocks, I think they're called. The ones that I've used over here that change colours. I'm going to use those underneath the slabs, and then we'll have these ones next to the slabs, and then we'll have these ones in the centre once again, and then we'll have sea lanterns going right the way up through the middle. I hope that makes sense. I'm never particularly very good at explaining my design strategies. I don't know what it is about this slab placing, but it's really messing with my eyes. I mean, I think it might be the really bright white of the slab. It's actually kind of frazzling my brain a little bit. And that, my friends, is that. Okay, so this thing is now done. I apologise for the fact that there weren't too many progress updates here. I just thought I'd fly on through and do all of the blocks. And I have to say, I think I have done a great job when it comes to this idea right here. Having these, I don't even know what they're called, prismarine, and then this is prismarine bricks. Okay, so having just the prismarine, and then the prismarine bricks, and then the sea lanterns, it's a nice little bit of detail. Like, they all work together really nicely. I just think it looks super cool, and what I'm tempted to do, I think I'm actually going to run up to the top of my super chest tower right here, which I actually still need to give back to Impulse. All of this is Impulse's sand. But we're going to go up to the top of these hoppers right here, and oh, that looks so cool. That looks seriously cool. And another thing that I've realised is that because I took out the walls, look how cool the base looks from down here. That is mega. That is so dramatic, isn't it? What a dramatic looking base that is. Seriously, we got squids dying. We got angles. We got darkness. Probably mob spawning soon. I can't wait to get rid of this thing, but this is a good start. I am overjoyed with how this start is coming together. Now I think I should probably start work on trying to work out how these big swirly sections work, and I think that is going to take a very, very long time indeed, because, as you know, I'm a bit of a spoon. Outside ring number 1 has gone in, I think, fairly successfully. They're very strange shapes, though. This isn't like circles where I can just learn it and build it straight away. They're a little bit odd, so I'm going to have that outside ring. I think I might just do it in sections, so I'll do all of the outside rings going all the way around the outside. So we're 1/4 of the way done there, and then I'll do all of the inside rings of the outside rings, and then I'll do the same thing for the inside diamond rings. I think that makes sense. Yeah, so I do the outside rings, the inside rings of the outside of the diamond, then I do the inside ring of the inside of the diamond, then the outside rings of the inside of the diamond. Words. Stage 1 of the process is coming to an end. I've actually forgotten what I need to do. I've got the second account open above the server, so I think next it is just a little 2-block kind of slab. And then it will just be 2 1-block slabs, and I am proud to admit, ladies and gents, I didn't make a single mistake in doing any of these. I've done all of them. All of them are in. We've got all of the outside circles going right the way around. That's like the difficult bit. We've actually done like the biggest section already. And they are all in place absolutely fine without any silly moments in the slightest. And this thing is already starting to take shape, and it is already looking ridiculously cool. Oh, I can't wait to get the inside ones in. Progress updates, all of the internals have now been completed. Once again, I managed to not make a mistake. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I'm being an absolute champion at the minute. So this is what it is currently look like. We've got the circles going around the outside right here. They're all looking pretty uniform. There's nothing out there that seems to be particularly crazy in terms of how they're actually designed and looking. I'm trying to spot any potential like mistakes where they clearly go crazy. But it all seems to be pretty good. So these are like the outside circles, and then as I say, you just have this little band on either side that just travels through like that, and I can't actually remember if it has one on this side. I'm assuming it probably does, so we're going to have another 4 bands just going through the center. I genuinely can't remember what it actually looks like. I do have it open on my other screen, but no, that is... I've just got this open above the Hermitcraft server. So, yeah, I think that's how it goes. Inner ribbons on the inside of the diamond, and then this thing will be fully templated out, and we can do the same old treatment on the inside to make it look really, really pretty. I think this is us done. 1, 2. Templates are now in place. Everything is done. We have got the full pattern drawn out. Now it's just a pretty simple task of actually filling in all of the blocks on the inside of these templates. But I gotta say, that was such a strange shape to build. It's not really a circle, so I can't be accused of building circles again in Hermitcraft Series 5. I think I just want to see what it looks like from the top. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it actually looks quite good. Now, I will just say, I am having to go quite high up into the sky to kind of get an impression of what this thing is all about. But, yes, that looks epic. That looks seriously, seriously epic. I actually want to see what it looks like from down underneath. Earlier on, it looked fairly dramatic from the floor. Hopefully, it looks more dramatic now, as long as we don't get blown up by creepers. Oh my word. That looks amazing, doesn't it? What a crazy looking thing. I genuinely think this might look cooler from down underneath. I genuinely think that might be the case. This looks ridiculous. I'm going to put my field of view right the way up so that we can like see... Okay, no, that doesn't look quite as good. It just looks ridiculously massive. Still, I'm a big fan of that. So now I just have to remove all of the blocks that I've placed in under these slabs. And if I was a smart man, I probably would have used these blocks right here, but I'm not. I've used stone and various different ugly blocks that I just had lying around, and I'm kind of paying the price for that. Right, now that that's done, it is time to actually start placing in all of the blocks underneath. Now, I was considering doing this in progress updates, much like we've been doing throughout most of this episode, but you know what? I feel like it could be really quite satisfying seeing all of the blocks going into these bands right here. So, yeah, I've concluded. Let's rock into a third-person time-lapse. I think this is the third one of today's episode. We might be breaking a record soon. And there we go. After a rather long thunderstorm that seems to have spawned a lot of those scary skeleton things. I mean, we've got the skeleton thing there, a skeleton thing right there. We have some proper horsemen down at the bottom. We have a skeleton there, a skeleton there. Do they activate every time I walk past them? Because if they do, that is absolutely terrifying. Yep, they do. there's so many of them then. I mean, I've got to run past another one just to get to the nether portal. Oh, blimey. Okay, right, I am so out of here. I thought these things were meant to be rare, not like... This seems to be super common. That's ridiculous. Now, I think I want to round up today's Hermitcraft episode by doing something that I should have done a very long time ago indeed. We don't seem to have any in there.